numbers and the greatest common factor. I have some notes here for you that you can read through and hopefully you'll find them helpful. Okay, so let's say your teacher asks you what are the factors of the number 8. So you're going to think of that 8 as a golden number just to make things easier for you because you're going to hear the word number a lot and you might get confused. Okay, so a factor is a number which, when multiplied by any different number, equals that golden number. So the factors of the number 8 would be any numbers that when you multiply them together, they equal 8. I know this might sound a little confusing, but you'll hopefully know a lot more by the end of the video. Okay, so we're going to solve this example right here. So 8 is our golden number. Okay, now let's think of numbers which when we multiply together will give us the number 8. Well, we know 1 times any number always gives us that number, right? Like 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 3 is 3. That's not going to change. So 1 is a factor for all numbers. We'll more on that later. Okay, so numbers when you multiply together that equal 8. 1 times 8 equals 8. Let's take 2. 2 times 4 equals 8. Now, what about 3? I'm not so sure that 3 times any number equals 8, but let's just check to be sure. Now, one way to check if a number is a factor of your golden number is to take your golden number and divide it by the number which you think could be a factor. If the number is a whole number, meaning it has no decimals, that means that it is a factor. But if it's not a whole number, that means it's not a factor. So this is not a whole number because there's a decimal point right here. So therefore 3 is not a factor of the number 8. The next number is 4, so 4 times 2 equals 8. And 8 times 1 equals 8. So I don't know if you noticed, but there's sort of a pattern here. Once you repeat any number you already used, like we already used 4 and we started repeating it, that means the table is just gonna do a little flip. You see what I mean? Like 8 was over here, and then 1 times 8, and then you do 8 times 1. So you will see it more clearly when we do like larger numbers. So we got all these numbers, 1, 2, 4, and 8. And when we multiplied them with other numbers, they gave out the number 8. So that means these are all factors of the number 8. The golden number, when it's divided by its factors, the remainder is always 0. And the quotient is always a whole number. That sounds like a lot of words, but basically what I mean is if you divide 8 by 8, which is a factor, you get 1, which leaves the remainder 0 because you have a whole number right here. Okay? Okay. Now let's try a harder example. What are the factors of the number 36? Feel free to pause and try to solve this, but it is like a pretty tough question, especially for not really solid with factors, but do your best. Okay, now we're going to go through each and every number up till the number 36 to find out its factors. So we'll start with 1. 1 is always a factor of any number because when you multiply 1 with any number, you'll always get that number. 2 is a factor because 2 times 18 does equal 36. Now 3. Let's see. Let's divide 36 by 3. Yes, while you could use a calculator to do this, it would be a lot faster. We do want to make sure that we know how to do our division and we're familiar with it. So 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract it, you get a 0, and you bring it down over here. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract it, 0. So let me just erase that. 3 times 12 equals 36. Now 4. So we're going to divide it again. We're going to take 36 and 4. So 4 times, well, 3 is smaller than 4, so we have to go through the tables of 4. 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times, I think 4 times 9 with, yes, 4 times 9 equals 36. Now we have 5. 5 is definitely not divisible by 36 because we know the tables of 5. It's easy. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, 35, not 36. So therefore 5 is not a factor, the number 36. So 6. 6, well, since 3 is smaller than 6, we have to go through the tables of 6. So that's 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24, 6 times 5 is 30, and 6 times 6 is 36. So now that we've repeated a number, we know we don't have to go through each number one by one. We're just going to get the flip side of the table. 9 times 4, 12 times 3, 18 times 2, and 36 times 1. Hopefully now you know how to find the factors of any number. So first you take your little golden number here, and then you find all the numbers you can that when you multiply with each other equal that golden number, and those are called the factors. Okay, thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe.